was just sitting here by the Christmas tree, drinking some herbal tea and enjoying some biscuits, while also taking in one of my very favourite Christmas stories. It's called Mr. Darcy's Night Before Christmas. Have you heard it? No? Oh, well, heavens, let me put this down. And then, I think I should like to read this to you, if you don't mind. So here we go, buckle up. You're going to read Mr. Darcy's Night Before Christmas by Julie Peterson. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and at Pemberley not a servant was stirring, they slept peacefully. A cold snow lay heavy all over the park, while inside Mr. Darcy sat alone in the dark. He stared at the fire and heard the wind blow. From outside there echoed a loud ho-ho-ho. He heard jingling bells and a light prancing hoof. Why, yes, it was Santa on top of his roof. First down the chimney came one big black boot, and then came old Santa all covered in soot. Mr. Darcy, see, he said, as he grinned ear to ear, come, tell your friend Santa what you'd like this year. Now Darcy gave pause, his thoughts were a-swirling, with flashes of fine eyes, and ballrooms, and twirling. Miss Elizabeth Bennet, far off at Longbourn. As his mind turned to her, he felt very forlorn. I have a large fortune and quite a good life, but as a man single, I'm in want of a wife. There is a young woman who sparked my interest, though I doubt for my status that she is the best. Why, Santa furrowed his brow and he stroked his white beard. Darcy's great pride was much worse than he'd feared. What could he do so proud Darcy would know that obeying his heart was the best way to go? Inspiration struck Santa, he chuckled inside. Mr. Darcy, said he, let us go for a ride. You can help me fill stockings on this Christmas night, and maybe we'll find a Mrs. Darcy, all right? Mr. Darcy agreed, and they sprang to the sleigh. With a snap of the reins, they were up and away. They took to the sky through the stars and the dark, to the country of Kent and the Grand Rosings Park. There dwelt Darcy's aunt and his sickly cousin Anne. When infants their marriage had been his aunt's plan. Darcy politely but sternly rejected this notion. I won't marry my cousin for all the fish in the ocean. Despite my aunt's attempts, this I cannot do. Please let us move on. And so off they flew. In London at the home of the Bingleys they stopped, and down the chimney Santa and Mr. Darcy dropped. Charles is a fine friend, quite congenial to all, said Darcy, but he's been subdued since this fall. Perhaps that's because you said Jane doesn't care, but trust me, said Santa, I know you're wrong there. A Miss Caroline Bingley, said Santa, would she do? No, replied Santa, she's too rude and a shrew. I know she is closer to my life in high station, but her attentions to me are a source of vexation. Very well, replied Santa, she's all wrong for you. Now quick, fill these stockings, there's a lot left to do. They took off once more through wintry London town, and in front of an orphanage landed back down. They softly tiptoed between the rows of small beds, while the orphan children rested their wee little heads. Santa filled all their stockings while Darcy trimmed the tree. He imagined their faces filled with wonder and glee. Mr. Darcy felt cheer swelling up in his heart, perceiving it's not what you get, but in part. We must truly love despite fortune or station, and show kindness and concern for all of creation. At this realization he paused and he pondered. Why am I so stubborn? He silently wondered. And turning to Santa, he knew what he wanted. He was willing to take on that challenge undaunted. "Oh, Santa, I think you know the wife I desire. Let's proceed with all haste into far Hertfordshire." And again through the heavens the sleigh took its flight, until the estate of Longbourn was in sight. Peeking out from the chimney, they saw still one light shone. "Look there," whispered Santa, "I feel we're not alone." In front of the fire, with her feet all tucked under, Miss Elizabeth Bennet lay sweetly in slumber. Santa chuckled. "Though you thought her to be tolerable only, without her quick wit you would surely be lonely. You now find her handsome and tempting enough, but winning her heart may prove yet a bit tough. She's seen your disdain, and has heard Wickham's slander. Tell her the truth about him with the utmost of candour. Now I'll wake her quite gently, and give aid to your cause." So Elizabeth woke to the face of Santa Claus. But soon she spied Darcy peeking out from behind. Her eyes narrowed, brow furrowed. Was she out of her mind? This man whose harsh words had caused Bingley to flee, what on earth was he doing by her Christmas tree? "My dear Elizabeth," said Santa, "I can see you're distressed. We don't mean to startle. Darcy is here as my guest. Please listen to him, and he may calm your fears. Wickham's on my naughty list, and has been for years. Yes, Darcy's proud, but his deeds have been good. I'd say he's quite a fine man. Why, indeed I would." This pronouncement Elizabeth's fears did relieve, for if you can't trust Santa, who can you believe? Mr. Darcy then knelt, for he knew what to do. "Miss Elizabeth," he said, "I ardently love you. I know this is fast, and we've borne our share of strife, but please do me the honor of becoming my wife." Oh, love this part. "I have learned that what matters is not status or rank, and for that I have you, my dear, and Santa to thank. Please forgive the ungentlemanly things that I've said, and let us make plans for our future ahead." Elizabeth smiled and then nodded approbation. She could feel that Mr. Darcy spoke with great admiration, and Santa was glad that his lesson, well taught, had changed Darcy's heart, his old ways now forgot. Santa left the two right there beneath the mistletoe, finished filling the stockings, and made ready to go. Up the chimney he rose and gave the reins a swish, glad to help Darcy get his best Christmas wish. The two at the window were waving farewell as the church started chiming its first Christmas bells. Then they heard Santa call as he flew out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Oh, why, if that isn't just the sweetest Christmas story, it warms my heart every time. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a very wonderful, very happy Christmas and a most delightful New Year. Bye-bye.